I was super insecure about whether or not I was a good enough writer when I first became a copywriter. And I noticed that this is an insecurity that's holding a lot of copywriters back from getting started. Here's what I realized about what clients are really looking for in a copywriter. Because whenever I speak to a client who's unhappy with the past copywriter, the feedback always sounds the same. They say something like, well, they just missed the mark. They didn't understand what we were looking for with this piece. And I've never heard them say they were a horrible writer, they had horrible grammar. So your clients are going to gauge your performance on how well you understood the assignment and whether or not you gave them what they wanted. It's not so much about writing, which is ironic because that's our number one fear, is that we're bad writers. So in this video, I'm going to tell you what skills actually make a great copywriter so you can stop worrying about whether you're good enough and just put yourself out there. So I'm Christine. I'm a freelance copywriter in the technology niche, but before I built my own business, I was in sales for 10 years. Now I'm using those sales skills that I used for so long to teach other copywriters how to get on LinkedIn and cold pitch clients, because that's how I built my freelance business. So if you haven't been to my site, make sure that you check out paidcopywriter.com, where I actually give you templates on how to interact with clients and what to say in your messages. So here we go. The steps that make a good copywriter and what skills you actually need. You need to be able to simplify concepts, right? So being a skilled copywriter isn't the same as being a novelist or an academic writer. You actually want to be able to speak very simply and very plainly. You want to take complex concepts and make them understandable to the general public. That's your job as a copywriter. The second thing is user experience awareness and being aware of who the audience is. So are you able to see the work through the user's eyes? You have to understand how your writing is impacting the reader. Whereas if you're a novelist or a journalist, you're focused on telling this story and structuring it in a certain way. Well, for a website, you need to be able to, or when you're writing a website, you need to be able to arrange the words in a way that the user is able to understand and makes them take action. It's going to make them click certain buttons and want to buy the product. So how you arrange the points on these page is what converts visitors into sales for your clients. And remember, the marketer is hiring the copywriter to write words that sell. So being aware of where the words fall on the page and from a visual perspective is really important. You'll also be working with graphic designers, and they play a really big role in how these websites are designed and where your words will fall. So the third thing is marketing knowledge. So writing copy is a marketing function that you'll be handling. So basic marketing principles are important because you can't just sit back and have the client assign you work. To deliver the best results, you need to understand their strategy and be able to give them advice when they ask for it. You don't want to be passive. You want the marketer to feel as though you're another member of the marketing team that's contributing ideas. So you should know basic principles of SEO, search engine optimization, what leads are, what conversion rates are. You don't have to be an expert. You are not a marketing person at the end of the day, but the more interested you are in those topics, the better. As long as you can actually understand how your writing fits into their general marketing strategy, that's what's important. Because to be honest with you, SEO is super freaking boring. I wish I understood the ins and outs of SEO, but I don't, and most even marketers don't. It's so complicated. So if your blog, for example, is supposed to drive traffic to your client's webinar, you need to have that goal in mind when you write. It's going to impact your call to action and even maybe the structure of the blog post you're writing. The fourth one is customer service skills. So not enough copywriters talk about this. I think a lot of people are online talking about copywriting and saying, hey, you need to take these training courses and have these skills. And yes, of course, that's important. But what's also important is maintaining the relationships you have with your clients. the goal should be to have long-term relationships with profitable clients, because it's just less work to maintain existing relationships versus constantly going out and getting on LinkedIn and sending cold pitches. If you can create what I call anchor clients, that means that you'll be really versed in their work. You won't have to keep going out to get clients to sustain your income. And all of that is about maintaining long-term relationships and keeping them happy. So you can do that by being really responsive, meeting your deadlines, and then obviously what I said before, bringing helpful ideas to the table and really contributing to their marketing strategy in a valuable way. So just remember that copywriting, at the end of the day, it is a service-based business. Your clients have the ability to replace you at any moment. So your goal is to make yourself irreplaceable. We're never really irreplaceable. Just going to be honest. I know a lot of people love to be like, oh my God, my clients love me. But you know what? It's not always going to be a perfect relationship. I feel like client relationships are very similar to any relationship you have, whether it's friendships or romantic partnerships. There are going to be differences. You're not going to want to work with them, and they might not want to work with you. And don't take it personally. Just keep it moving. That's my motto. So research skills. Okay, so this is so key. And what sometimes scares me is that people will write me emails asking me about copywriting, about very, very basic stuff that can be found in a Google search. So if you are not the type of person who likes to dive deep into research, or if you're not a resourceful person that can go out and find answers, copywriting is going to be hard, and it's going to be a little bit more of an uphill battle for you. You should have some expertise in the product you're writing about, some knowledge, because that's how I advise that you choose your niche. You want to set that strong foundation. But you don't work for the company, right? So you're not going to know everything. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm a technology copywriter, specifically in the SaaS space, and some of this stuff bores the living hell out of me. I'm not really super techie. I'm more interested in the writing aspect and how we can communicate messages to the audience, but I'm not super techie. And actually that benefits me in a lot of ways, because as writers, we need to take an unbiased standpoint to the writing and how we communicate the product's features and benefits. So you don't need to be the expert, but you do need to be able to run a really good Google search. Be really good about Googling. Also, you're going to have limited access to the company and their knowledge. A lot of these marketers aren't the best at communicating. Sometimes they don't know a lot about their own product. So it is on us to be really good at researching and finding the answers that we need so that we can write an intelligent piece on what we're talking about. And I really do consider myself someone who can just Google the solution to any problem in life. So listen, I know it sounds counterintuitive, but becoming a great copywriter doesn't just come down to writing. It's not the same as writing a book. It's not the same as journalism or academic writing. It comes down to how well you perform the functions of the job, which are ability to simplify the concepts, awareness of the audience, marketing knowledge, your ability to maintain client relationships, and the last one is research skills. So guys, if you want to get clients on LinkedIn, I have a free guide. It is a template and it's a formula that you should be using to pitch clients on LinkedIn. That is how I built my freelance copywriting business. And I'm creating an entire course about it, about, the A to Z of how to build your freelance copywriting business using LinkedIn. Spoiler alert, I am not a LinkedIn expert. I know how to use it to get clients. And I think that's what makes this course different than whether, maybe you would go online and say, hey, I need to become an expert in LinkedIn. I don't create content on LinkedIn. I'm not super active on LinkedIn, and it still has been invaluable to my copywriting business. And I believe that the keys to actually creating a lucrative copywriting career are, landing high-paying clients so that you are writing for maybe 4 or 5 clients max and making a full-time income doing that. And in order to do that, you need to get these high quality clients. They can be found on LinkedIn and through cold pitching versus websites like Fiverr and Upwork. That is a strategy that I recommend and that I teach on. So I hope this helped, and I hope this eased any insecurity about whether you're a good enough writer. It is a lot more than just writing.